Thank you for coming back to working cursive. This lesson is much longer than others because we are reviewing all of the letters we've learned so far in lessons 1 through 6. So here we're just going to practice a row of each of the letters that we've learned so far to make sure that we're getting practice with these moves. So the first two moves we learned were both based on the basic swipe motion. This is the letter I and the letter T. The letter I stays between the two bottom lines. You start at the bottom line, swipe up, touch the midline, swipe back down and out, come back and dot your I. The T is the same motion, you're just taking it past the midline and all the way up to the top line. For the swipe motion, we are tracing the line back down once we've reached the top of where we want to be. We're not making a loop motion here at all. We're trying to keep it nice and clean so that it just goes up and down. We're looking for nice consistent size and shape and slant or angle. As you're learning, these things are going to change. You're going to find that sometimes one angle is much more comfortable than the other, and that's totally fine. Once we learned the swipe move, we moved into the loop. And the basic loop is the lowercase letter E. So you start with that swipe motion going in from the bottom, but instead of following your line back down like you do with the I, you widen that mark, widen the line, and make a loop. Still starting at the bottom, touching the midline, coming back out, making sure you follow from left to right. You can see here that my letters are not always perfect. There's some variation, and I've been doing this for years, so give yourself some grace. Same motion here to make the lowercase L. You're still making a loop, but instead of turning around at the midline, you're taking it all the way up to the top line. So still swiping in from the left, going all the way to the top, coming back down and out to the right. So we're always trying to go from left to right, but obviously to make this loop here, we're going to back out and come forward. Left to right. So the next set of letters that we practiced are the double swipe letters, where we take that basic I move and double it up. So here is the lowercase letter U, which is really just two I's connected together without any dots on top. And you start at the bottom, hit the midline, trace your line back down and out, go right back up, hit the midline, come back down and out. The W comes next. It's this same motion, but instead of exiting the letter, you're going to bring that tail all the way back up to the midline and exit out at the midline. You're going to stay up top there. So you're going to do really 3 swipes up and exit at the midline. Up once, twice, 3 times, and out. Up once, twice, 3 times, and exit at the midline. Once, twice, and exit at the midline. Following the double swipe, we introduced the tail. So the letter J is a swipe and a tail. You're going to swipe up, come straight down all the way underground, hit that bottom line, come back up and exit out to the right. And the lowercase j gets a dot on top. This is the first time we are going to that underground line. You can see now why we always skip 2 lines when we're practicing. So J is your first underground letter. It's the first letter with a tail. So you're going to swipe up, come straight down, hang left, and then come back out to the right. The Y is also going to use this tail move, but really we're just putting a double swipe and a tail together. The Y starts out as a U, and instead of exiting at the bottom line, you're going to go underground, make a tail, and come back out to the right. Up and up, make a tail, come out to the right. Up and up, exit to the right. Up and up, come down, around, exit to the right. Continuing to slow down and make sure we're practicing consistent size and shape and angle. The next move we introduced is the wave. So the basic wave is the lowercase letter C. You swipe up from the bottom, but instead of going straight up like the I or the U, you're going to curve over at that midline and give the C a little lip, like you're putting a lip on the wave. Follow your line back down and out and exit to the right. Up and over, come back down and out. Building on that same move, you put a wave and a swipe together to get the letter A. Here's a wave, come straight up and back down and out. A wave up and over, come back, go straight up, back down and out. So the letter C is the wave. The letter I is the swipe. When you combine them here, you get the letter A. You want to leave the C nice and open, but the letter A you're going to close. You're going to bring that swipe right up to the tip of that wave and close that space. I'm getting to the bottom of my page here, so I'm going to trade out and start a fresh page. We're going to keep going. After the C and A moves, the O and D build on that wave action. So you're going to see here the O continues. It's almost easier than the A, but this is the first time we're making a circle. So you're going to start out like the C, come all the way around, nice and round, make a nice round circle, and we're going to exit the O at the top, like we did for the W. The O is going to exit at the top. And then our other wave letter, you see me adjust some papers here, they're driving me crazy. The other wave letter that we have here is the letter D. So to make the letter D, you're going to make the wave, and instead of like an A where you swipe and stop at the midline, you're going to take that swipe all the way to the top, like you're going to make the letter T. So your letter D is a wave and a tall swipe. Make sure you pass by that top of the wave there to close the letter D. The A, O, and D should all be closed at the top of the wave. The C leaves a very open wave. The rest of the wave letters are all closed at the tip of the wave. So let's practice some shorter words, and then we'll get progressively longer words. So I'm going to start out here with the word J. J-A-Y. The letter J is a swipe with a tail. A is a wave with a swipe. Y is a double swipe with a tail. J-A-Y. And don't forget to go back and give the J a dot. I'm going to skip 2 lines here and try the word old. O-L-D. Make that nice round circle for the O. A nice tall loop for the L. And wave and swipe for the D. We're looking for nice consistent size and width, height, angle. It takes a long time and a lot of strength built up over time to be practicing with control. You do not win any prizes for being done first. We are not in a race here. Let's move on to the word claw. C-L-A-W. And you need to be careful with the C-L combination. If you touch the C and the L together, it's going to look like a D. So you need to be a little bit careful there to make sure that you have enough separation so it's very clear that there are 2 separate letters. This is also why we make the D with a swipe and not a loop. It makes it easier to differentiate between a D and a CL. The next word we're going to look at here is the word lace. L-A-C-E. And it really is quite easy to lose track of what you're doing when you're practicing, because for some reason I wrote the word law here instead of lace. I was kind of zoning out here. So we're going to go back to the word lace. L-A-C-E. It's okay to screw up. Nobody's grading you. We're going to look at the word wild. W-I-L-D. Wild. It's a lot of swipes to start out with. And then a loop for an L and a wave and swipe for the D. Next, let's write a longer word. We're going to try the word juice. J-U-I-C-E. And you have to dot 2 letters this time. It's a little bit hard to tell the difference between the U and the I. You just see a lot of swipes up. So sometimes you want to make sure that dot is a little bit closer to the I to make sure it's a little bit easier for others to read. That the U has nothing above it, so that must clarify that it's a U, and the dot is directly above the I. It's going to help other people read your writing. Next, we're going to look at the word yield. Y-I-E-L-D. The I-E is a very common combination, as is the L-D. Make sure that the I is a swipe move where you're tracing the letter back down, which is differentiated from the E, which needs to leave that open loop so that those are clearly different letters. We're going to move on to the word audit. A-U-D-I-T. Audit. a wave and swipe, double swipe, wave and swipe, a bunch of swipes at the end there with the I and T. Here you can see how the A and the D are very similar, as the I and the T are really similar. It's just one of those swipes goes to the midline and the other one goes all the way to the top. And the last one we're going to fit on this piece of paper here is the word cycle. C-Y-C-L-E. Lots of waves here. C-Y-C-L-E. We're going to get another piece of paper here to stay comfortable. We're going to look at the word decoy. D-E-C-O-Y. This one seems a little bit harder than others. It's all right, that's why we're practicing. And as you see my hand starting to get a little bit tired, that D kind of goes from a swipe to a loop. That's totally fine. It's fine. If you like how that looks better, by all means, write your D with a loop. It's very pretty. Let's try the word cuddle. C-U-D-D-L-E. But you can see in a word like this why we try and keep you can see in a word like this why we would try to keep the D and the L looking very different from each other. If they're too similar, it becomes hard to read. Cuddle, C-U-D-D-L-E. Let's try the word locate. L-O-C-A-T-E. We have almost all of our moves here. Tall loop. Several wave letters in a row. Swipe and a short loop. L-O-C-A-T-E. Let's try yellow. Y-E-L-L-O-W. Make sure you exit that W at the midline. Don't go down to the bottom there. Y-E-L-L-O-W. Yellow. Once you have the D and the E, it gives you lots of options for fun words. We'll try words like decoded and decided. Decoded is D-E-C-O-D-E-D, which is different from decided, D-E-C-I-D-E-D. As you practice, it comes much easier to read. Let's try the word wildcat. W-I-L-D-C-A-T. One of the longest words that we've written yet. Wildcat. Really long word coming up here. Let's try outlawed. O-U-T-L-A-W-E-D. Outlawed. outlawed, Outlaw. We'll try two more here. Let's try the word delicate. 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 Which inspired me to try delicately, but as I was writing it, I wasn't entirely sure if the word delicately had an E in it. And it does. So I gave myself a question mark. I was like, oh, I don't know. So you'll see me hesitate again here because I was like, I don't know. And I tried to, but then it would be like delicately, and it's not delicately. You have to put the E in there to make it delicately. All right, keep on practicing. We're halfway through the lowercase letters. Please remember you are also always welcome to turn my voice off